No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league.
Hey, welcome back to Summoner's Rift. It's Yamato Cannon. I just wanted to say hello to everyone who has been supporting Sandbox. I know we win a lot of games recently, but we had to bring it back a little bit. Expectations getting a little too high. Teams or fans unrealistically thinking that we are a good team. We needed to bring that back down a little bit. I'm not trying to get to playoffs and actually, show that I'm not good on the big stage. If you catch my drift, that would be quite embarrassing for me going into playoffs year one, getting slapped around by these good teams. I think we need to wait at least a year so I can collect a couple of more paychecks before they realize that my hiring was kind of a stupid decision. But Sandbox, KT, we have chances to win this game. So during the game I contact my players. I say, hey, give up the Dragon Soul. We don't want to win the game, because if we win the game, like I said, expectations go too high. We don't win the expectations. So KT, they beat us pretty easily game one. We beat them last week, but everybody who watched the game told me, like, Yamato Cannon, we didn't have good dragon control. We didn't play the macro well. Aren't you afraid that KT plays better today? And I said, no, that's exactly what we want. We want KT to beat us bad, because then people, like, they stop taking us so seriously. But right now, everyone says Sandbox Gaming best team in Korea. I mean, it's just ridiculous thing to think. So again, very happy with this result. KT, good job. Thank you very much. Check is in the mail, So KT aiming, play really well. What do you expect? You needed to give me some time to actually have an impact on this team. First couple of weeks, we continued to win because I was not there and couldn't influence the team. But then, I get in there for 2 or 3 weeks, bang, we lose in matches. So, that's exactly what we're looking for, So I'm going to stick around because I need to get my next job lined up. So maybe Pikel will hire me to, do some highlights with him. So let's go to the next match. Okay, so now we have T1 and we have Genji. Faker, great player. BDD, Ruler. These are some very good teams that I don't want to ever see in my match, So let's get the clip rolling. Clip is rolling. Great. Teddy pushing forward. Good play from T1. I think that is very aggressive. They're in a losing position, but they need to fight so that they can contest the next dragon. And look at this, T1 popping off, like we say in Europe. So Teddy goes a little bit too far forward. He ends up dying, but T1 manages to win this fight, and it looks like Genji is going to recall, and they will not have enough time to go to the dragon. So T1, bang, we get the dragon on T1, and oh my god, Tam Kenshi steal it. So that one hurt a little bit. Cuz again, not looking great. I think next match we see Elim for sure. I don't know if it's really Elim's Cuz's fault, but someone needs to pay for the bad play. It's like pay to play, but pay for bad play. Like that's what we do on Sandbox, at least. So T1 continues to try to push the envelope, but it's just not going to work out for them in this game. Genji looked very good. Ruler is a good player. BDD is a good player. Klid is a good player. I think that T1, they really need to figure this out, because running the Karma top with the Jax, with the Kalista, I mean, it does make some kind of sense, but you have no tank. It's going to be difficult to lock down the Ezreal in the late game. So it's not the best draft, from T1. So let's go to China. China's very fun thing to watch. Very good games there in general. So Bilibili Gaming against Dominus. We thought that Bilibili Gaming, easy favorite, highest on team on DraftKings, and this is because they're going to win. They're going to dominate. They will have all of the kills. But Dominus winning the game right now. So Dominus up 5.6k gold. How could they possibly mess this one up? They gave up Dragon Soul, so Elder Dragons on the Rift. It looks like Yui on Leona is just allowing the other team to punch in her face, which is bad. You don't want to get murdered by other team. This is not good in League of Legends. I have to try to explain this to the Korean team as well. But, you know, c'est la vie is what we say in Europe sometimes. So Kalista and Leona both die. Graves dies. That's going to give up the game because, I mean, we have a lead on the side of Dominus, and they're unable to use that lead to secure Dragon Soul, to take a Baron, to push in the base, you know. They did get a Baron in this game, so Dominus, they really should have won this match. Not match, they should have won this game. Game 1 went to BLG, Game 2 should have won Dominus, Game 3, who knows what happens, but that would have eliminated the game not played bonus from BLG, but you know, just didn't go that way. So then we get into Game 3 of Invictus Gaming against RNG. So as per usual, Invictus Gaming in Game 1, they have big deficit, but they are the better team, so they ended up pulling that one out of the place where the sun does not shine, if you catch my drift. So let's go back. Let's take a look at the fight that actually won them that game, because it was quite impressive. So we just need to find that part of the game. Bear with me, please. Habibi, Maniac. So where are we? Okay, alright, this should be it. So look at this. They are down 6,000 gold, but they have the Dragon Soul, so they are a strong team at this point. RNG goes for aggressive play. You have to respect this. They go in with the Tom Kenchel. They have Wukong. They get 3-man knockup onto the back line, but Nu instantly dies. So Nu for Yuyu. No for Yuyu. So Rookie popping off. Rookie, one of the best mid laners in the LPL still. Just a really good game from Rookie. Also in the second game, Rookie does a great job. Let's go find parts of this. What's the score line in this one? So RNG, through 2 games, they score more DraftKings points than Invictus Gaming, which is pretty funny. Gala popping off on Aphelios, so it's a little bit less impressive. And then Invictus Gaming, you know, they turn it on. They are the better team, and they're going to win the match. So yes, like I said, Sandbox Gaming, we're going down the tubes. Don't worry, guys. I will not disappoint you. I know that you want Sandbox Gaming to be bad team, not good team. So I got you, fam. Don't worry about it. I got you. Thanks for watching. Here's Pikel, and we're going to break down tomorrow's games for you. Peace. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Pikel with League of Items. Thanks again to Yamato Cannon for coming out. It's really nice of him to, you know, jump on these videos, especially after a loss. So thanks to him. I know it's not easy when you're the reason a team loses, and then to have to go out and like function in public. I know it's got to be pretty stressful for him. So I give him a lot of credit for actually going out and doing that. But I just wanted to go over some of the reasons why I made my picks yesterday. So BLG, I thought BLG would still win. I just thought it'd be a little bit lower scoring than everyone else did, because Billy Gaming in 3 of their last 4 matches, their like upside was really like 80-ish points. They had that one really good match against OMG, but that was like that was the exception to the rule. It's not that it's a rule, but it's like it was the more likely outcome was that they scored somewhere around 80, especially against Dominus. I was discussing it with some people in Discord, and they were telling me that Dominus had like some of the highest deaths in the league. But those numbers are going to be skewed very much because they're just losing so often. So that's one of the reasons why I'm pretty skeptical of a lot of these stats. I'm not sure what the optimal was last night. Probably RNG as the best underdog. But yeah, I haven't taken a look into that. I've just been like, you know, woke up, had a coffee, ate some breakfast, watching some LEC, and putting together this video. So in Discord last night, this is what I said after doing some more research on Sandbox KT. I said I just watched through those games again. KT got Infernal in game 1 and should have won the game, in my opinion. The problem was that they got the dragon and then they instantly fought instead of trying to reset, which, I mean, I can't really blame them at that point in the game. They just played the one fight poorly, which was correct. Then in game 2, aiming got caught and the game snowballed. KT won both drafts and controlled dragon in both games. Why is this important? So controlling dragon means that you're controlling one of the primary win conditions of the game, which is Dragon Soul. It also means that they're a good macro team that is able to set up these dragons ahead of time or respond to them in very good ways. So I was on KT yesterday. It's funny, in my qualifier lineup, I used Sandbox's team slot as a way to try to block Sandbox Gaming just in case they won. I was going back and forth between playing Kana and KT Rolster versus the Shy and Sandbox, because I did like T1 last night. I thought that Gen G would have to play a more aggressive style to really force the issue on T1, and that was the only way that they could really win. So I thought that that would elevate the upside for T1, because in order for them to win that match, they would have to be more aggressive than they normally are. Unfortunately, T1 did not look to really play well last night. And then LS kind of went on a tirade on Twitter, which it's good that he's in Korea, because he gets a lot of additional information that a lot of other broadcasters wouldn't be willing to divulge. Not saying that he's doing anything unethical. It's just that he was saying like the T1 coach has like publicly stated that the reason why they go for these early game drafts that kind of don't make a lot of sense is because they don't think that their players are skilled enough to compete with some of these teams, which is just mind-blowing to me. I think it's a completely ridiculous way to look at League of Legends. Like, if anything, that means that you should be playing for the late game even more. But so like I just don't understand. I don't understand why a coach would have that opinion, and if the coach has that opinion, why would you want them as your coach? You want a coach that is almost delusional about their players, if anything. Yeah, so that was kind of my main thought. And then the other thing I said, this was all around 1 o'clock yesterday, 1 o'clock Eastern. I'm basically building my main qualifier lineup where KT Sandbox is closer than everyone thinks, so closer or KT wins. BLG Dominus is a letdown, which it was. Invictus Gaming takes care of business, and so does T1. I think it's low owned, but very reasonable. So I thought that T1, Invictus Gaming, plus KT was relatively reasonable. Only thing that scares me is T1 not being forced to get kills because Gen G plays passively. And then I was responding to someone else in the Discord. My picks for yesterday were KT, and I said it really will depend on the roster they put together. But even after they put out I said that before I read about. I said that before I watched the games again. So then after I watched the games, which I didn't watch the full game, I skipped through the game to the different macro points, and I was satisfied with what I watched. So I was even more confident in KT. And like I said, the only reason why I played Sandbox in the team slot in one of my main rosters was because of the being afraid of the Sandbox outcome, because I figured most people would not be playing KT, and a surprising number of people actually did have KT in their rosters last night. So that was pretty good by them. Then I had Billy Gaming, Invictus Gaming, and T1. T1, I'm starting to think that I should probably be a little bit more aware of my biases. I think I am definitely biased towards T1. I think that's relatively obvious, and it's probably me saying it to you doesn't mean anything, because you've probably already realized that. But I think I am biased towards Invictus Gaming and T1. So when I'm making my picks in the future, I should say that I am potentially biased in this spot. So you might want to look at it for yourself, because I have a lot of information about these teams that may not be relevant, that's influencing my decisions. And that happens in a couple different regions. I think for the most part, it's pretty obvious, and people are able to pick up on it. But it's just something to kind of watch out for in the future. So just keep that in mind. Let's take a look at the Korean and Chinese matches tomorrow. I believe the rosters are already out as well. Yeah. So Mr. Malmanger with the tweet as per usual. We have JDG against FPX. JDG continuously winning all of their matches. FPX has looked pretty bad recently. So we have Zoom against Khan. I think that this matchup is very close in the top lane. Khan is more likely to carry, and for that reason, I think like if JDG goes the Ornn route, I think it's really not great. Because there are ways for Khan to counter that pick. Now, it doesn't mean that FPX is going to win the match, but I think in that matchup specifically, I think Khan is really the higher upside side in that. Kanavi against Tian. Kanavi's the better player. Tian has not looked great recently. Yagao against Duanbi. I think that Duanbi is the better player, and I've been listening to some people say like Duanbi is not one of the best mid laners in the world, but I would have to disagree with that. I think that Duanbi is not the typical mid laner. So if you're judging Duanbi based off of the normal mid lane things, then that's really not going to give you an indication of how good he is. It's really more about his ability to shot call and his unique champion picks that give him like upside against other players. So if you want a flashy kill score and those kinds of things for DraftKings, then yes, Duanbi is not that player for the most part, or normally, but he does have that ability as well. So it's like if you're familiar with League of Legends more intimately, then I would say your appreciation for Duanbi is much higher. If you are more of the typical fan and you're just looking for big kill scores and flashy plays, he will give you some flashy plays, but he's not going to give you the gigantic kill scores. He's all about winning the match, and he hasn't been playing very well recently, but I think that as time goes on, they're going to turn it around because they are a good team. So you have to kind of just believe in the talent. If you don't believe in the talent, then that's fine. You can pick whoever you want, but I think that it's incorrect to assume that they're bad now. In the bot lane, we have Loken and Lumao against LWX and Crisp. I think this is basically an even matchup. LWX has not been playing very well either. Some of the drafting from FPX has been suspect as well. I think they picked a Kai'Sa for no reason the other day, blind, which is pretty surprising. Second match, what was the money line for that? So JDG against FPX. JDG is minus 217. FPX is plus 164. If this was a best of one, I would definitely place a bet on FPX. Since it's a 2 out of 3, it's a little bit more difficult to do that at plus 167. That's very close to a bet for me. I would be looking to bet on FPX in that spot because the public obviously is upset by what they've seen recently from FPX, and I think that they are definitely capable of turning it around in one match, even against a team like JDG. JDG, we should remember, hasn't been playing a lot of good teams, so they've been taking care of business against bad teams. FPX will be the best team that they've played recently, I think. I'm pretty sure, at least. Second match of the day is Vici Gaming against Top Esports. Vici Gaming has looked much better. They've made their games very competitive. They're playing Aches instead of Leon. So we have Cube against 369. 369 is a little bit better than Cube, but they're both pretty good. But 369 is the better player. Karsa against Aches. Karsa is definitely the better mid laner, or the better jungler. Knight against Zika. Knight is definitely the more proven mid laner and better for right now because of all of the things that we've seen from him. Zika seems like a kind of player with huge upside though. So I'm very high on Vici Gaming and on Zika in the future. This is going to be a chance for Vici Gaming to prove themselves once again. So they've played really well in their last 2 matches, keeping the games close. And even if they're losing these games, they still look like they belong in those games, which is not something that every team can kind of pull off. In the bot lane, we have iBoy and Hong against Jackie Love and Yu Yanjia. And I think this is really where the biggest advantage is for Top Esports, is their... it's like stylistically and talent-wise, they both kind of have they're on the better side of things in bot lane. So Jackie Love is able to play a little bit more aggressively than iBoy, and Jackie Love can match his ability to scale and his ability to team fight. So those are really the strengths of iBoy, is like the team fighting, scaling, playing for the late game. So his team is trying to get him to that point, but Jackie Love and Yu Yanjia can match that easily. So I think that Top Esports will likely create a lead on the top half of the map, and then it's going to be on Vici Gaming to make some riskier plays to kind of bring the game back into question. Vici Gaming is plus 400 against Top Esports. I would definitely look to bet on individual games. So the first 2 games of that series, I would consider betting on Vici Gaming. Obviously, it's very difficult to bet on them to win the match altogether. but that is a spot that I would look at in individual games. Then we have Solhewan Prince against Hanwha Life and DRX against Team Dynamics. So Solhewan Prince against Hanwha Life. We don't know who's playing for Hanwha Life, but we will know because of the rosters being released at about 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern, so midnight in Cali. So Solhewan Prince against Hanwha Life. In the top lane, regardless of who starts for Hanwha Life, I think that Solhewan Prince actually has a little bit of an advantage. Ixu has looked pretty bad, but Ixu is like hyper aggressive and a good DraftKings play. So if you're looking for a DraftKings top laner, I think that Ixu does kind of make sense. I think we could see a big performance out of him. In the jungle, it's most likely going to be like CAD against Flawless, I think, is the jungler for Solhewan Prince. Not a big advantage on either side. If anything, it's Solhewan Prince favored. Just CAD has looked horrible. In the mid lane, we have Lava or Miru against Mickey or Kini, and I think that Solhewan Prince has an advantage there as well. And then in the bot lane, we have what's his name? Hybrid and Secret, right, against Viper and Lehens. So I think the bot lane advantage goes to Hanwha Life. I think that the top jungle in mid goes to Solhewan Prince. So this could be a close match. I think that both sides are interesting for DraftKings. I wouldn't bet on either side because I don't have any confidence in either of these teams at like a 50% clip. I think it's more like 40%, 40%, and then the other 20% is like who the hell knows what's going to happen. That's kind of how I would look at this match. DRX against Team Dynamics. I think that it's obvious DRX is the better team here. Dynamics kind of had a pretty bad match their last time out. So they're looking to turn things around. In terms of upside, I think Doran has pretty good upside for DRX in his matchup against Rich, because Rich is going to most likely play some kind of carry champion, and that's going to make the top lane more volatile. DRX in general, not the highest kill score team. Team Dynamics may give them the opportunity to score more points tonight. But these are interesting matches today because I think Hanwha Life versus Solhewan Prince is obviously the best from a DraftKings perspective out of all 4 of the matches. I could see Top Esports kind of just rolling over Vici Gaming, but Vici Gaming is most likely not going to give them the gigantic kill upside. So it's going to be more of a Korean match in that sense. And if we have, let's see, so JDG against FPX, that could kind of go either way. We saw a lot of low scoring games in the finals and stuff like that, but we did see 1 or 2 bigger scoring games. Vici Gaming against Top Esports, same thing. I think it's more likely to have a shootout because Top Esports is just going to chase down kills. But that also has a pretty good chance of being low scoring. Solhewan Prince against Hanwha Life, I think both teams just go insane because it's like 2 bad teams. They're just going to try to go for a bunch of kills and get a win. And then DRX against Team Dynamics. DRX is the much better team. We'll play the macro game and try to kind of like reduce variance. So it's going to be on Team Dynamics to kind of throw themselves at DRX. Will they do that? I'm not sure. But that's basically it for the first look. Thanks for watching. If you would like to support the channel, please check out Patreon. Patreon gives you access to my Discord where I give out my picks. I give some of my reasoning for the picks that I'm actually making. They do come out a little late sometimes in terms of like what time of day they happen, but I really need to do this on my own schedule. It's kind of like school where like it's not that I was a procrastinator. It's like I did all of my best work at night because reasons. I don't know why. It's probably like a flow state kind of thing. But yeah, so that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Check me out on Twitter, Twitch. I stream most days around 10 o'clock. And that's about it. So thanks once again for watching, and I'll talk to you later.